What's going on YouTube and y'all squad? This is your boy Yakrates. This is your review for The Real Housewives of Atlanta. I believe this is season 14, episode 14, but regardless, it will be in the title. So, still in Jamaica. It's the very next morning, and it's like 7 something in the morning, and Candy is still high over the night before, which I can understand. But as I've said, Candy brought that on herself because you inserted yourself into something that you didn't need to insert yourself into. And Marlo did the same thing, which we'll get to, because remember last week I said she internalized something that she didn't need to, but because she internalized it, that is why she went the way that she did. Again, that is not excusing behavior. But when it comes to Candy, and I did say this also, but not explicitly, but she did share with Candy, this is what is going on with myself and my nephews. If I'm not mistaken, all of the women know about it. The men didn't know about it. So the fact that Candy went so far as to reveal something that was shared to her, even though the group knows about it, but to share it amongst mixed company, being the men who don't know the situation, yes, that is why she got defensive and she went on the attack the way that she did. Now, did her response, did she have to go as hard as she did? No, but again, that's how Marlo felt, so that's what Marlo did, whatever. But Candy is upset, and again, rightfully so. Somebody attacked your man. I told y'all, don't mess with the M's of Candy. Her man, her money, her mama, her meals, or her motherhood. The 5 M's. It was 4 M's last week, but somebody put me on game. It's 5 M's. So, they're getting ready to go on a little excursion that Sonya has planned. They were supposed to be down there at 8. I think the last person, minus Kenya, showed up like at 8:15. Kenya still isn't ready. Sonya even hit her up, and she says, "Oh, I'll try to make it in 5 minutes," knowing that she wasn't. And I really wish Kenya would have just said, "Hey, I'm running behind, or I got some personal things going on. Can you just send me the address, and I'll meet y'all there?" Something like that. You know, being respectful of one's time. And if y'all watch Ultimate Girls Trip Season 1, she, in essence, kind of did the same thing to Cynthia, where she was well over an hour late. Now, she ended up showing up to the ice cream place that they went to, and it was like 2 hours late, right? But before we get there, Sonya takes them to her neighborhood where she grew up and whatnot. I really don't know why they had to get off the bus just to walk in the street a couple of meters, but they none of my business. But, you know, we do get to see people in the neighborhood knowing who she was, so that was a decent scene. So they go to the ice cream place. Kenya does show up, and she goes to get her ice cream. And you have 3 separate conversations happening, right? You have Moneta talking to Candy, trying to see in her mind, like, how did what happened? Even though she was sitting there, but it was just like how did it escalate? You have Marlo talking to Sheree, because she was like, how did this happen? Baby girl, you instigated this whole thing. You created this whole thing, but never left. Whatever. And then we got Sonya talking to Kenya. And Kenya pretty much is talking about how Brooklyn, you know, doesn't want to talk to her father, doesn't really want to see her father, and how this is all, you know, kind of tough for her, this, that, and third. Now, Sonya says in her confessional, every time I bring something up to Kenya's attention, it's always the baby or her soon-to-be ex-husband. And you have every right to feel that way. And to a certain extent, I felt that way for a second. My first thing is, Sonya, why did you say that in her face in that moment? To her face in that moment. It's reading very, very two-faced and whatnot. Got it, whatever. But the other thing is, she is actively going through a divorce. Even when we saw Ultimate Girls Trip and how she was doing the online court thing, and her feeling away because it's like, I got to talk about my finances in this public forum to where anybody can log in and hear about all this stuff. So it's something that is going on. For those of y'all who watched last season, Y'all know what Mark was taking her through and putting her through, even to where last season she couldn't even have Brooklyn on screen. So of course, Mark is literally taking her through it, and then to know that he wants alimony and, and spousal support and all this other stuff, even though, look, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. I do feel that way, but nevertheless, all of these different things that he wants from her, it is very taxing, and you can't convince me that Brooklyn isn't on the trip. She probably just isn't talking about it because of how everybody, more or less, Candy had something to say last year at that one trip they had. I think it was the Bolo trip, if I'm not mistaken. Nevertheless, but it seemed like Sonya was very just not empathetic to what is going on. Fine. Let's see what else happened. Yeah, this is what happens when I don't have my notes. Screw it, bouncing around. All right, so we'll just say it's the next day, and this is when Sonya is doing her little iFit thing. She tells the ladies what time that they need to get to the bus. And if I'm not mistaken, Sonya and Ross were already at the destination. So the bus was just going to take them there, but they were already there getting prepped and whatnot. The bus was leaving either at 8:30 or 9:30. I believe it was 9:30. Marlo and her Flores were on the bus. Kenya and Sheree were not. Now, it did show at the quote-unquote time of departure they were in two separate places, but that doesn't mean that they weren't already, I guess, in the lobby or whatever. Maybe there was some ambiguity. We don't know. We do find out that Kenya had contacted Sonya several times before the departure time, and then several times after that, and got no response. We'll revisit that. So let me see. So the women, I'm sorry, hold on. So that happens. You have Candy and Drew. Drew is helping Candy run lines. So that's that. We'll stop there. Then you have Sheree, Kenya, Manyetta's husband, and the other women that came as plus ones and whatnot. All of them went on the boat, had a good time. Sheree was, saying how Manyetta and Kenya could be models, but she got upset. Well, not upset, but she didn't like they was, twerking and booty popping and everything else. And my thing is, you would want a former Miss USA, if I'm not mistaken, to model. And again, even though Kenya is cutting the food, Kenya knows when to be professional. But whatever. And Sheree also lets us know that it's not a fashion show. It's a fashion presentation. She lowered the standard just in case things don't go correctly. But see, here's the gag. Had she been working on She by Sheree from the beginning of the season, this probably wouldn't be a thing. So she's in crunch mode like she was when she first tried to give us She by Sheree, which was either season 1 or season 2. So this is why this is going on. And then you reduce it to reduce the expectation. That says a lot about what it is that you are trying to do. Nevertheless, there's that. And Kenya was just like, I was mad at Sonya because, I wasn't where she was at. I'm happy to be doing this. Now, we go back to where Sonya is and Marlo is there with her. Sonya takes a break and, she's talking to her, is kind of asking like, well, where's Sheree and Kenya? And she's like, well, I don't know what happened with Kenya, but I know with Sheree, like Sheree wanted to come, so I really don't know what happened with her. And, Sonya kind of, feels his little ways, but, plays it off, and it is what it is. So now we get to the end of the episode, which is the dinner. On the way to the dinner, you have Ross, Sonya, Marlo, and Sheree. And you have Sheree slightly grilling Sonya because she's just like, I felt like, you disinvited me because, this didn't happen. And Sonya's whole thing is, well, I didn't do that. But also, the fact that Marlo showed up means that I didn't do any disinviting and whatnot. I also wonder why Marlo didn't call Sheree before the bus departed to be like, hey, where you at? So, okay, whatever. But Sheree even said, well, you really gonna have to deal, like, I can let it go, but you gonna have to deal with Kenya. So we get to the dinner, and this does come up. And Kenya is just like, okay, well, I felt disinvited. Like, why didn't you answer the phone? Like, I called you. And I forget exactly how it happened, but at one point in the episode, she said she lost her phone. In another part in the episode, she said her phone broke. So which one is it? Because obviously you're lying. And I do understand in certain jobs and whatnot that you don't physically have your phone. Like you're busy, your phone is someplace else. And she could have easily said, "Hey, I was working the entire time. I didn't have access to my phone." But technically, that is a lie because you not the access to the phone part, but she did take a break, and we know she took a break because she sat down and had a chat with Marlo, which means that at that point she could have returned Kenya's call. And if her phone was in fact lost and or broke, she could have been like, you know what, Marlo, let me use your phone and let me call Sheree and Kenya and just see what was going on. So these are things that could have been done, right? So in essence, it's a two. It's not even a 2-on. It's a 2-on-2 because you have little Sheree and Kenya, talking to um, Sonya, and Marlo's like one at a time, trying to defend Sonya and whatnot. And in the process, you have Ross get up, and I forget exactly what he said, but he pretty much was like, "Leave my wife the f alone," or "Stop ganging up on my wife," or something along those lines. And here's what I'm gonna say, Ross, bad move, bro. Now I know some people gonna be like, "But you was here for Todd last week." I was. Reason being is it wasn't because Marlo was talking about Todd while he was there, even though that's part of it. It was at that point where she's like, "Todd, you know I love you." So now you've engaged him. So he had every right to say whatever it was that he wanted to say at that point. In this particular instance, you have two women that are having a verbal spat. And the voice levels did not even reach it it's not like how Candy and Marlo went at it the night before. The volumes didn't even get that high. So because you can't accept the fact that people feel ways about your wife, you decide that you want to pipe up, and it's not like you're protecting her because she wasn't in any imminent danger, no imminent threat. Like, dude, the hell. So that's not a good look. And the thing is, if you can't take your wife, having to sit here and tongue wrestle with these women, your wife don't need to be on this show. Or if that's the case, you don't need to be in front of the cameras if you can't take it. Right? Oh, and one other thing I wanted to mention, Kenya, if you really want to make it to the outfit thing, you could have. Just like you took a cab to the little ice cream shop the day before. Production is there. Production has a van. You could have asked production for the address to the whole outfit thing, and you could have ordered a cab like you did, even though you may not want to spend your money. But you could have ordered a cab and went. And the fact that we technically did not see you in a cab when you showed up to the ice cream thing, you could have rolled with production. They could have dropped you off and made it look like you arrived there in a cab. But nevertheless, that is it. Short and sweet, to the point, right? So that's my review. Thank you all so much for watching. Again, catch me and the rest of the Whether You Like It or Not panel on Josiah World's TV channel tonight at 9:15 Eastern, 8:15 Central. Y'all know we gonna cut the food like we always do. And until then, if I don't see you all there, have a blessed and prosperous day and week. And I will see you all later. Peace.